You're watching us on this 26th day of June 2023. Trust you're doing well. So much has happened in the country, including the ascent of the Finance Bill 2023 by President William Ruto into law. We have that story and so much more lined up for you tonight. But first, let's take a look at our headlines. Finance Bill pulls through. President William Ruto signs the 2023 bill into law. Implementation to start from July. Border riders to have dedicated hospitals in new government reforms to empower the sector. Reprieve for Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduol as he survives impeachment. And President William Ruto inaugurates Health Human Resource Advisory Council to accelerate realization of universal health coverage. Alright, welcome to the broadcast. Sammy OKELLO is our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is ODIDA, and remember we're live on our social media platforms at KUTV_Kenya. That is on Facebook and YouTube. We begin. Now, the government has declared Wednesday, June 28th, a public holiday to mark Eid-ul-Adha. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki made the announcement in the Kenya Gazette notice dated June 26, 2023. The holiday marks the culmination of the annual pilgrimage to Mecca, the holiest city for Muslims. The essence of Eid-ul-Adha is to retrace the steps of the Prophet Muhammad and the recount of Muslims' devotion to God. President William Ruto has officially signed into law the Finance Bill 2023 following its approval by the National Assembly on Wednesday, June 21st. The signing of the bill was witnessed by other government officials, including National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, who was its chief campaigner at the August House. The bill was signed in State House, Nairobi.
President William Ruto's fiscal policies and taxation measures contained in the Finance Bill 2023 have been signed into law. The President assented to the bill at State House earlier today after it was forwarded by the National Assembly. This comes just a day before Azimio's responsive rally set to be held in Nairobi's Kamkunji grounds. The opposition, in a quick rejoinder last Thursday, announced to reveal their anti-finance bill courses of action on Tuesday 27th after the contentious bill was passed in Parliament. Last week, the bill sailed through the National Assembly during the third reading after a majority of MPs voted for it. And now, following the presidential assent, Kenyans are expecting to dig deeper into their pockets to finance the government's budget.
This will be the saddest day in the history of this country. Madam Chair, if there is one thing that is going to affect the common person, if there is one thing that is going to increase the cost of living in all aspects, it is this proposed increment on the VAT on fuel, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, we all know for sure that fuel is a driver of our economy.
Key provisions raising controversies in the bill are the 16% fuel VAT, 1.5% monthly deduction of gross pay to fund the national housing development, 5% tax on digital content creations, and more micro-businesses being subjected to taxation.
If you are getting or you are going to tax them, it's like you're going to affect with your income, and you don't have you've never created job for this guy. Mtu hajatupea kazi, sasa unataka kitu unanyang'anya kitu janipea aje.
The bill has gone through a series of development stages amid strong opposition from Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition and Kenyans at large. Having gone through public participation, 3 reading stages in Parliament and voting before today's major move of presidential assent, the Finance Bill 2023 now becomes law and implementable. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
Now, President William Ruto has today presided over the inauguration of the Kenya Health Human Resource Advisory Council at State House, Nairobi. The council has been set up to accelerate realization of universal health coverage and to address the constant challenges facing the health sector in the country between the counties, the national government and the healthcare workers. The president lauded the devolution of health services, claiming it has improved the health sector as compared to the period when the health function was handled by the national government. Ruto has hence promised that the national government has no intention whatsoever to transfer back the health function from county governments. The council, which was set up in May, comprises of Francis Wafula, Rosemary Njaramba, Joan Machoyo, Joy Mugambi, and Thomas Mweu.
I will not expect the council to favor the national government or favor the county government. We want a win-win. We want a fair chance for everybody. I will not expect you to favor the workers as opposed to the government, because we are all in one space and it is our responsibility and duty to serve the people of Kenya. The national government has no intention whatsoever to reverse what the Constitution did make legitimately, to transfer health services to county governments.
In the past 10 years of implementation of devolved health, various human resource health issues and challenges have arisen, which require urgent action and on which we hope that the council, which is highly professional, will be able to address. These include postgraduate training of doctors and other health workers and specialists.
We were extremely careful in selection of the council because of the issues that we have had around the health workforce. The chair, Your Excellency, Professor Frank Wafula, is a health system strengthening expert who currently serves as a lecturer at University of Strathmore. He is the one who is going to chair.
All right, the Kenya Bora to Itakavyo assemblies have opposed the move by President William Ruto to assent the finance bill into law. The organization claimed that the finance bill is a heavy burden for Kenyans and has accused members of parliament for what they termed as betrayal to Kenyans. They have further issued an ultimatum to the government to reduce the high cost of living by 7th of July, failure to which they will close down parliament.
The finance bill debate continues to elicit divergent views in the country just several days after being passed in parliament. The Kenya Bora to Itakavyo assemblies now want Kenyans to oppose the bill, which was assented to law by President William Ruto today.
From signing the statement this morning.
Led by Cyprian Nyamwamo and the former presidential aspirant Ruben Kigame, the organization has urged Kenyans to unite and hold the government accountable, as well as control the waste of public funds, citing that the government should start by solving the 10 billion edible oil scandal.
Because Kenya Bora is going to take actions that will evict those two gentlemen from office until all the money is recovered. We are taking our country back, and we are not asking Ruto to do anything.
In addition, the organization has accused Parliament for failing to represent Kenyans by passing the finance bill, even after 93% of Kenyans rejected it. They have further warned that they will close down Parliament if it does not discharge its mandate of representing Kenyans.
We shall call and coordinate actions that render all the MPs jobless until the day they declare that they shall be representing the people of Kenya, oversight the executive, and make legislations to secure the interests of the people of Kenya.
Elected democratically members of Parliament We have delegated our power to them, but the Finance Act is one critical moment that showed us that actually we do not have representatives.
Tutaenda kwa wananchi, tutazungumza na wananchi wawatimue kwa sababu hawana maana yoyote kwa mwananchi. Kabisa. Ikiwa bunge linaweza, wabunge wanaweza kupitisha sheria kupitia vitisho vya rais, vitisho vya executive, basi hawawasilishi wananchi, wanawasilisha executive.
The Kenya Bora Twitter Kavio has also called out the president for assenting the bill today, citing that the bill is a heavy burden for Kenyans.
Kuweka sahihi hiyo ni kutangaza vita na Wakenya. Ni kutangaza kwamba yeye hawataki Wakenya mazuri. Ni kutangaza kwamba anataka Wakenya wafinyiliwe kwa kuinuliwa kwa bei ya mafuta, kwa kuinuliwa kwa stima, kwa kuinuliwa kwa bei ya chakula, kwa kuinuliwa kwa kila kitu.
Among the issues they want addressed in the bill include the reduction of cost of electricity, reduction of the price of basic commodities, reduction of fuel VAT to 8%, and the removal of the housing levy. This move comes just a few hours after President William Ruto assented to the finance bill after it was successfully passed in Parliament last week.
Now, it is a relief for Siaya Deputy Governor William Oduol as he successfully survives impeachment after a majority of senators voted against his removal from office this evening. A total of 27 senators rejected the two charges that were previously found to be proven and substantiated by the Senate Special Committee investigating his removal. 16 senators from the Azimio faction voted in favor of Oduol's removal. The accusations leveled against him included gross violations of the Constitution and the abuse of his office.
The Special Committee has found that the particulars of Charge 1, gross violation of the Constitution and other laws, and Charge 2, abuse of office and gross misconduct, have been substantiated. Is that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33(8) of the County Government Act, and Standing Order 87 of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate has failed to remove from office by impeachment Honorable William Oduol, the Deputy Governor of Siaya County, and that the Deputy Governor accordingly continues to hold office.
All right, President William Ruto has today presided over the launch of Border Care initiative at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. The initiative is meant to reform the border business to have smooth operations, the support they need, and help them increase their income. The meeting was attended by Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, Roads and Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha, among other government officials.
While presiding over the launch of Border Care initiative that was held at the KICC today, President William Ruto announced that the electric bikes he promised during Madaraka Day celebrations are expected to arrive in the country by 1st September, a move that is meant to cut on the expenditure on fuel and boost environmental conservation efforts through use of clean energy.
Alafu kufikia tarehe 1 Septemba vile nilitangaza kule Embu, tutakuwa tumeagiza na zitakuwa zimefika hapa bodaboda 10,000 ya kwanza, ambaye ni bodaboda ambaye itakuwa inatumia stima. First 10,000 will be here. 100,000 will be in Kenya by December. Na hiyo barabara ndio tutakuwa tunaelekea.
President Ruto has also said that the Ministry of Roads and Transport will partner with the National Transport and Safety Authority to ensure that all qualified border operators are licensed, and the Red Cross will educate them on emergency medical care. Health Cabinet Secretary Susan Nakumicha added that the border operators will receive a year free medical cover.
Tatizo kubwa
ni kwamba watu wanaendesha pikipiki ya bodaboda hawajafanyiwa training na hawana leseni, ndio tunapata ajali nyingi.
But I want to encourage the border borders that this is not personal. Ensure your dependents are listed so that not just you get care, but your family members get care as well.
The benefits the border operators will enjoy as listed in the finance bill by President Ruto include reduction of import duty on motorcycle parts from 35% to 10%. There will be no VAT costs at charging stations for the electric bikes, among others.
Tumewakubalia kwa mfano walikuwa wanaambia wasingie town. Na nikuuliza kwani ukisema boda isingie town inamaanisha town ya watu wenye gani? Kwani town ya wadosi peke yao? Tukasema bora kuna mpangilio, kuna njia unatumia, kama ni LSNS unajua vile utaingia, kama ni Moi Avenue, kama ni Kenyatta Avenue, na pale ya kudrop mtu wako na pale wa kupick. Lakini wale ambao wanapeleka chakula in that labeled bike ambao nyuma iko na hiyo container, kama mtu amoda chakula KCC na mwambie asimame Tomboya, si chakula itakuwa baridi.
Governor Johnson Sakaja also condemned the directive that barred motorcycles from accessing the CBD, claiming it is a business like any other. The progress of the initiative will be assessed after about a month to ensure the deliverables are met. Ivy Bina, KUTV.
All right, it is 19 minutes past the top of the hour. We are taking a very fast short break at this point. Of course, so much more lined up for you. Stay with us.
Yo, that's your boy Rhino the Don. Keep watching and listening to KUTV.
What are some of the ways through which you can develop these skills so that we are comfortably fitting into the job?
You have to put yourself in positions where you are uncomfortable. Uncomfortable in the sense that you are not clear about what to do.
Because I used to work a corporate job before. So when I left, I happened to visit someone's farm around this area.
So this project is called Security Breach Detector and Readiness Familiarize. It is meant to be used to detect, detonate explosive.
We'll tackle all the tough issues, discuss all the weird moments, and hopefully share a few laughs along the way.
Kutoka kwa jamii ya kuhamahama na sasa kujumuisha kilimo katika mitindo yao ya maisha. Kwenye toleo la kaunti ya Narok, hii ni Boresha Kilimo, kwani afya bora ni kilimo bora.
Kwani kilimo ndicho huboresha maisha.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani. Kama ilivyo kipindi hiki kinahusu nyimbo za tarab, chakacha, midwara, midundiko, bila kusahau mapishi. Ambao ndio uti wa mgongo wa pwani ya Afrika Mashariki.
Jamani, swahibu zangu mliopo maskani, hatuonani wenzangu, najua mwanitamani.
Hapa KUTV, nahodha mwendesha chombo cha baharini, yani ua linalunukia na kuvutia waridi tamu.
right, welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching KUTV Primetime News. Let's continue with our coverage. Now, the government has downplayed claims that the newly imposed 10% import levy will kill industries, saying that it will rather promote local industries to thrive. According to the Principal Secretary for State Department of Industry, Dr. Juma Mukhwana, the government is focused and committed to promoting local manufacturers and enable them to produce products locally instead of importing them from outside the country.
Principal Secretary for the State Department of Industry in the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, Dr. Juma Mukhwana, has said that the introduction of the 10% import levy on a number of products produced locally in the Finance Bill 2023 was aimed at supporting local industries.
Our role is to get more people to manufacture here. And what have we done in the Finance Bill? In the Finance Bill 2023, we have put an import levy on materials, on products that we can make here. As we have said, we are not going to allow you to import things that we can make here.
Dr. Juma Mukhwana noted that following the conclusion of the Kenya-European Union Partnership Agreement, giving Kenya a duty-free market to 2027 European Union countries, Kenya now has access to a larger market. However, he says it is a challenge since the country lacks sufficient locally produced goods to sell to other countries.
So if we can't get manufacturing here, the only way we are going to satisfy that big EU market of nearly 500 million people is for us to manufacture here. So they have opened up a market. It is duty-free, it is quota-free, which means you can sell as much as you want. They will not charge you duty, but we must have something to sell. And so what we are asking is that we, as a country, want to stop exporting raw material.
Millie Glass Vice Chair Mohammed Rashid noted that the gross domestic product GDP of manufactured products is expected to increase up to 20% by the year 2030.
I think we are now walking the talk. The government has already been telling us they want manufacturing to go to 20% of GDP by 2030. And I think as today as investors and private investors in this country, we are seeing it happen because when a PS comes to see you and wants to know what you do and what you're producing, it's a move in the right direction.
The government is in a move to boost its economic status in the country by boosting the local manufacturing of products. Dorothy Musyoka, KUTV.
Pastoralists in Tana River County have begun change that has had a negative impact on their livelihoods in the recent past. Most of the residents farming the drought pandemic. In order to save once fertile land, Tana River County Woman Rep Amina Dika visited farmers from 15 villages in the area with water pumps and pipes to encourage irrigation.
Tana River County Women Representative Amina Dika and officials from the Ministry of Agriculture have toured 15 villages in Tana River County to distribute water pumps, pipes and seeds for irrigation to farmers. The residents are impressed with the effect of climate change contributing to the transitioning from pastoralism to farming.
Ni kuona wafugaji wengi pia wamebadili nia ya kuwa wakulima. Ni kwa sababu gani? Wafugaji unapata mara nyingi wamekuwa wakiweka mifugo. Lakini climate change imekuja in a way that drive watu from kufuga na sasa imeingia ukulima. Na sisi kwetu ni advantage kubwa sana kama watu wa Tana River because tuko na hii ardhi. Na tunaomba serikali ikipata ile mashirika ambao sasa wana support hii issue ya climate change, Tana River ipewe kipaumbele pia.
Mohamed Shobe, a resident of Santama, reveals that he ditched pastoralism 3 years ago following the drought disaster that caused death of his many livestock. However, despite resorting to farming, he still faces challenges which include lack of access to roads, making it difficult to transport the harvest to the market. At the same time, the rough tilling of land has contributed to difficulty in farming.
Mzee Mohamed Shobe
Mimi safari yangu ya ukulima ilianza mwaka juzi wakati ukame mbaya ile iliyokuja kutufagilia ng'ombe zote. Hapo ndio nikachange maoni yangu ya ufugaji, nikaanza kuingia mambo ya ukulima. Kuanzia hapo nimepata changamoto kubwa sana. Ukulima ya huku sisi tunataka kulima saa hii, kujitolea kwa hali na mali. Lakini shida kubwa ya sehemu hii ambayo tuko ni barabara. Hasa ukitoka huku barabara kuu kuja huku kivuko ya Dibe, tunaomba serikali kuu kiwezekana biriji ijengwe immediately kwa sababu ya huduma yetu ya huku.
According to Molu, a farmer in Sandama, says he had to practice farming because drought had occupied the area they were living. He called on the county and the national government to come and also help them as the area has the ability to feed the whole Tana River County if practiced.
Galo Roba Molu, maarufu jina ambaye inajulikana zaidi na watu wote elected leader. Kwa hivyo,
Prof, good evening.
Hapa sisi kama jamii wa wafugaji, lakini saa hii tumebadilisha
we are going to restart the link.
Na saa hii wale wakulima ambao wanajulikana tangu hapo mbeleni, saa hii wanakuja kununua chakula kwetu.
Tuone vile unakaa and then
kwa sababu tumebadilisha kwa hali ya kiangazi ametulazimisha. Ukame imekuja, kiangazi imekuja kwa wingi, mfugo saa hii hali yake si mzuri. Tumebadilisha, tumekuwa wakulima. Kwa hivyo saa hii ndio kazi ambayo tunashikilia, mnajionea.
Prof, your headroom is too wide.
Mheshimiwa sana. Amenadhika women representative county ametushika mkono.
So you can
tangu alipoingia kiti hapo mbeleni kuna waheshimiwa wengi wamepita lakini hatujaona kazi yao. Lakini saa hii ametushika mkono, tunaona kwa kila mahali akisimama akitoa kitu paka burra wapi, na saa hii ametufikia. Na tunashukuru ametuletea mbegu, mashine water pump, kila kitu ametushika mkono na saa hii ako area
tena kidogo.
Kwa hivyo tunashukuru.
Women representative Amina Dika urged the government and donors implementing climate change project to consider Tana River County so as to help them change their lives and families.
So we're going to restart the link, then you'll join in a minute.
Ni bidii kama kiongozi na pia kama national government ikisimama na sisi sisi watu wa Tana River, sidhani kama tutakuwa tunaenda kutafuta chakula kwingine. Mungu ametubariki, lakini pia hawa watu wetu vile mlivyoona si watu ambao wanajiweza. Wako chini upande wa kifedha na kila kitu. So tunaomba, nataka support ya serikali.
The impact of climate change have been experienced in various countries across the globe. Dorothy Musioka, KUTV.
All right, you're taking another short break. We're coming back with an interview on this finance bill, the contentious finance bill. Stay tuned for that particular discussion.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Lola ni programu inayokupa fursa ya kutizama video zozote pindi tu unapokuwa na nafasi. Hadithi za kukupa motisha, drama, maisha ya vyuo vikuu, teknolojia, masuala ya jamii, kuzuru maeneo tofauti, spoti, burudani na zaidi. Pata programu ya Lola sasa kwenye rununu yako kwa yote unayohitaji.
right, welcome back. You are still watching KUTV Prime Time News, and of course, it's a time for a discussion of the night. Now, President William Ruto has assented the Finance Bill 2023-2024 into law, and this comes after a majority of the members of Parliament voted in agreement with the bill, which seeks to make a raft of changes to collect more taxes, and it seeks to amend 87 proposals. And Professor Fred Ogola is joining us live. Prof is a governance and policy analyst, and we want to talk about the contentious finance bill. Good evening, Prof.
Good evening, Maria. How are you doing? And how is KUTV doing?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. I trust that you are doing well. Now, we will dive right into it, Prof. President William Ruto, well, he has assented this finance bill into law. Now, the opposing groups, that is yourselves, that is the Kenya Bora Tuitakayo and the Azimio One Kenya Coalition, are against it. So what reservations do you hold?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that what Kenyans need to know is that 93% of Kenyans oppose this bill. Yet MPs voted and passed this bill. So we're asking ourselves that has Parliament lost their oversight role and become now an arm of the executive? Have they lost the representation they have with the people, and now they are representing the president? Because if 93% of Kenyans reject this bill and they don't like it, I saw memoranda coming from KEPSA, from Kenya Association of Manufacturers, even us, Operation Indo Gatuzi, Kenya Bora Tuitakayo, many civil society organizations presented a memoranda and said that this bill was bad for the Kenyans people, bad for the economy. How comes Parliament went and passed this bill? So that's one question we're having. The second question we're having is that Mr. President had known that this bill is not good for Kenyans, and it's opposite to his manifesto. How comes he went on to assent to the bill? Because by assenting to this bill, he has lost legitimacy, because the people of Kenya gave him the legal mandate to rule them. How comes he has acted against them? This bill, people are saying, is going to increase jobs. Even look at the house levy, for example, if you look at it. They have talked about people are selling mabati and steel. We have projected as Kenya Bora Tuitakayo and Operation Indo Gatuzi that 2 million jobs will be lost. Why can't the president explain to us where these 2 million jobs are going to come from in affordable housing? And we are talking about 2 million permanent jobs. How can we lose 2 million permanent jobs to regain less than that number, which are casual jobs? That's my concern. The capital flight we are talking about here, we have seen, the capital flight is around 1.2 trillion, which is capital flight given this taxation being brought in place. The Kenya Kwanza government says that they are taxing people so that we can live off taxes and not borrow money. But in actual sense, they are borrowing more and then adding to high taxation, and this money is being used for plunder. So what we called today, our main statement was that we are going to close down Parliament. There is an act that allows us to ask Parliament to dissolve because they have failed to do their mandate. And we are asking the president to lower the cost of living by 7th of July, which is Sabasaba. If not, we shall start the action. We have gathered all the civil society bodies under the umbrella Kenya Bora Tuitakayo, and we are going to go for action. We are no longer just talking, because this bill is going to hurt people for sure. Jobs will be lost. Look at the time when electricity was for 1,000 shillings in September before he took over. For 1,000 shillings, you could get 61 units. Now for 1,000 shillings, you are getting 31 units.
Prof, before
we are looking at the cost of hunger, we are looking at the cost of fuel. So we are concerned that the economy is going the wrong direction, and we have to act, and we are going to act now.
Right, Prof, when you say that 93% of Kenyans are against this finance bill, and we are aware that the government said that it engaged the public with this public participation in this finance bill. So how did you reach your estimation, this 93%?
We've done surveys. The surveys are out there. And the president has stopped the media even from publishing opinion polls. They have just, look at what's happening in the fight between the executive and the media. We even find that completely reckless. Because let me tell you what, the Public Act talks about the issue of public officers that must act with democracy, in line with the Constitution, must act with integrity. The insults that Moses Kuria made to the media completely shows us that the democracy dies in darkness. That's what I'm trying to say. Dies in darkness, meaning that if the media cannot be allowed to echo their voices, democracy is dead. The media is the fourth estate. Why are they called fourth estate? The first estate is the public sector. The second estate is the private sector. The third estate is we, civil society, NGOs. And the fourth estate is the media to report what happens in the three estates. Now, if the media is being told they cannot be able to find freedom, now they are fighting the media. For us, we are believing that they are not allowed the media to publish reports. Don't you think, my dear, that we have done opinion polls, but they cannot be published in the media? The media has been gagged. In fact, Citizen did a news item talking about news gag, and they said they are being gagged. What we are trying to tell the president, you won the election. You were legitimately sworn in office. Accept that and move on. We are telling Raila Odinga, you lost the election. Accept that and move on. And what does that mean? Raila Odinga should accept and start putting legislation as head of opposition to make the government to check in parliament, check the government in judiciary, check the government using the legal means that exist. We don't want mandameno. The moving on for Kenya Kwanza is that you won the election. Deliver to your mandate. Execute your manifesto. Lower the cost of living. Ensure people can access goods of life like education and the rest. Stop telling us about how much money you found in the coffers. Tell us how much, what you're doing and how much money you're collecting. We have been asking for an audit of our debt because I can tell you, Kenyans' debt is being expounded very high. It is not what it is. There must be theft and plunder in the in this government, and we want those things to be done. Not that cheating us that there was no money, over borrowing, and yet we are not seeing him paying much. So we want the president. Yes, we want the president to come out. Say yes.
You have accused Azimio of not protecting Kenyans in these times with this finance bill, but yet it has organized a rally tomorrow that is at the Kamukunji grounds. What do you make of that statement?
What I know is we wait tomorrow and see what will be the outcome of that rally, and I can predict it will be all about, hey, we will do this. According to us, Operation Ndogatuzi and Kenya Bora Tuitakayo, we have sponsored bills in the court of law to challenge the illegalities that are in the finance bill. We are going to table that bill this week. Instead of going to the Kamukunji rally, there are other means that have worked. Kenya, as Azimio said, they were going to act and remove the president from State House. They made a lot of mayhem. Some people died. Loss of property was done. We have not seen them remove the president from State House. So what is it they're going to do new in Kamukunji? For us, we want to follow the legal means to ensure we stop there. Remember that Operation Ndogatuzi has gone to court on 16 occasions. Hustler Fund, we have stopped. The theft of money using the unique personal identifier, UPI, we have gone to court. And we have served the Attorney General, Minister of Interior. We have served those people. In fact, we are calling on Moses Kuria We are calling on Linturi. They should leave office for investigation because around 10 billion shillings have been lost in the oil deal. These are very clear things. For us, we don't want to go and make noise on the street. Their elections are over. We are using the legal means. And I would urge Raila Odinga, with all due respect, that this is not the time to keep us in election mood. We need to run the government. We want the president to succeed. And that's why we're putting pressure on him to do the right thing. We need Raila Odinga to join us in that battle of making the president do the right thing. Going to Kamukunji is not right. And I don't think we gain anything from Azimio mass action. If there's something we gain, tell me what. Because they went to mass action to say to lower cost of living. The finance bill has passed. It will increase cost of living. So we cannot continue doing what is not working. And I sympathize with them. And that's why we said as Kenya Bwana Tuitakayo that unfortunately, the Azimio MPs cannot be able to give the right channel competition in parliament. And the fact that there's still no numbers that Kenya Kwanza has, that's why we are going to fight on how can we bring down this parliament to listen to Kenyans' plight.
Now, there was room to submit proposals to Parliament. And Prof, did Kenya Bwana Tuitakayo submit proposals to Parliament before this bill was passed?
Yes, actually, we can share with the memorandum, which showed Kenya Kwanza how to have the 3.6 trillion budget without this finance bill. It is as clear as you get it. For example, remember that we have a proposal that EACC has in their website that Kenya loses 608 billion shillings annually to corruption, which now has hit 700 billion. The question is, instead of increasing taxes on Kenyans to make them poor, why don't you just stop that corruption? In fact, we are calling upon Bishop Ogide, the chair of EACC. We want him to resign because EACC was there to stop corruption. He publishing us how much money we are losing and with no strategy, no means at all to stop that corruption. Corruption must be preventive. We cannot be post-mortem running, stopping corruption using post-mortem that we have lost X amount of money, we have lost. We don't want to know how much we have lost. We want to know how much have we prevented and how much money is being recovered. So another thing, if you forget about it, we said that to increase taxes as an economist, there's what you call denominator and numerator. So you can either expand the tax at the bottom, or you can increase taxes upwards. The president has said to increase taxes, yet by putting more money on people's pockets, by ensuring more people can afford food, education, healthcare, you can actually end up having the same amount of taxes you need to collect. Now look at now NHIF. By adding those figures, who will afford those figures? Kenyans are already overburdened. It cannot work, my dear. In fact, we have given a memorandum how to do it. Remember that public participation in this bill, there was nothing. There was no public participation, I can tell you. What I know is that whenever Kenyans ask intelligent questions, they were told we have numbers in parliament. So there was no intellectual discussion with the Kenyans on what exactly is the solution. The issue was that we have numbers which shall pass it without a comma. And they have done what they said. They have passed an illegitimate bill, a draconian bill, and that bill is going to hurt our future generation. Why do you want to build houses where you put money on concrete and remove money from people's heads? Remember, he has defunded higher education. He has defunded education, remove more money. Even counties were supposed to receive 408 billion. Now they're receiving 385 billion. And MPs have passed a budget cut of 38 billion from counties. They are crumbling counties. So these are things that are not supposed to be joked around with because the impact of this will be great.
Prof, when you say that you as Kenya Bwana Tuitakayo, you're going to close parliament and the bill has already been passed, how legal is that at this point in time? Is that going to help in any way?
Actually, what happens normally as a process you cannot take the president in court before the bill is assented, because he could actually reject it and take it back to parliament. So if you run to court before he assents the bill, it's premature. We have been gathering data after data. In fact, we saw how the bill has mutated, because first of all, remember, the house levy was supposed to be a contribution, then it was supposed to be, I don't know what, then now it's a tax. So we challenge it, calling it a tax. Now that the president has assented it, we can challenge, and there's legal room for challenging it now that has been signed to law. Remember that there are some other means you can't challenge, but this actually can be challenged in court, and we have given the provision on which you can challenge a presidential assented bill into law, and it is still room for this challenge. But you know, the one that Okiya Mtata did, those are political gimmicks. I saw Azimio also saying they're preparing a petition to go to court, but now they're going to Kamukunji. I don't really trust that they are going to do something about the legal means, but for us, we will go to court and challenge it, and we shall address the media that day to explain to them what are our positions about it. And on Sabasaba, if our plea is not taken seriously, we are going to gather the civil society to go to parliament. In fact, there are so many ways have been done before. Burkina Faso put a parliament to fire. So I'm not saying we're going to put parliament to fire, but if the worst comes to the worst, we can contemplate the worst we can do, because if parliament is the place to be legitimize evil, where things which are illegal are being legalized in parliament, people who have stolen Kenyans' money are being vetted in parliament and given positions, taxes which are illegal are being vetted in parliament to be collected, then parliament actually the epicenter of corruption and the epicenter of cleansing illegal and corrupt people. And we can't take it clearly. Parliament should be a place that serves the interests of Kenyans. The parliamentarians are elected by Kenyans, and they should not represent the interests of the president. They should be representing the interests of the Kenyan people. And the threats that came from Kenya Kwanza, from MPs, or if you don't vote for this tax bill, we'll ensure that there's no development fund in your county, those ones are not supposed to be done. In fact, the president simply is trying to lose legitimacy when he says that. And that's why for us, we don't want to act against the president. Parliament passed this bill. Let us bring the war to parliament.
All right. Now, Prof, analysts say that President William Ruto and the government should be given time to prove to Kenyans that what they have in place is indeed making sense. And maybe, do you think that this year he has a way of deviating from the normal way that the other governments have been running, and maybe this is going to turn around the economy?
Yeah, by the way, this is the biggest shock ever. You know, if you're given a patient who is in general ward, then all of a sudden the patient goes to high dependency unit. Then before you realize the patient goes to ICU, you are still waiting for the doctor to help your patient. This is what the president will be doing. I told you when they took over, 1,000 shillings gave you 61 units of electricity. We have now gone double, whereby 1,000 gives you 31 units. Are you still waiting? And we are telling the president that even Mwai Kibaki won the election with 60.2% of the votes. But he never ruled us with an iron fist. He listened to us. Now, this 50.2% win, how can it be now be like you are ruling us as if you have won 90% of the votes? Remember, the election of President William Ruto is still being questioned by the opposition. Even if we disagree with that, we don't want to go to election. He has been in office legally. We are simply saying that somebody who narrowly won an election should rule with some prudence, by realizing that we need to listen to Kenyans. And how much time are we giving you when you are borrowing a lot of money? Corruptions are serious. The Minister of Interior has serious corruption. In fact, the budget is the best tool to steal money from people. And we point out, the money for unique person identified, the UPR project, is 11.5 billion. If you add to the previous money spent there for 6.5 billion, we are talking about 17.5 billion shillings, which have been passed in the budget, which will be implemented. Now we are still waiting for him to turn around the economy, while what we are seeing is that he's spending money in plunder. Look at the ministers I mentioned. Corruption is galore. The Minister of Interior is the most corrupt ministry according to EACC, followed by Ministry of Health. Look at KEMSA. So you are still waiting, yet some people are suspended, then everything went quiet. How much money has been recovered from corruption which took place in KEMSA? So we're trying to say that we cannot wait for forever. You cannot wait for sheep in an airport.
All right, Prof, thank you so much. Because of time, I want us to wrap it up at that. We appreciate your time and your input on this topic. Now, we are taking a very short break. At this point, we'll be coming back with sports. Stay with us.
Repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more, only on Law Matters.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Now, Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Eliud Owalo, has today awarded 3 million Kenyan shillings to Gor Mahia for lifting the 2022-2023 Kenya Premier League trophy in a ceremonious event hosted at the city in Nairobi. Kogalo's league triumph has guaranteed a slot at the Confederation of Africa Champions League. Their main focus during the league break now shifts to strengthening their squad ahead of a dream performance at the Africa Champions League next season. Helen Obiri has bagged yet another win in Boston Marathon after she emerged victorious in the 10 kilometers women's race held in Boston on Sunday. The 33-year-old who won the Boston Marathon race earlier in April this year clocked 31 minutes and 21 seconds to finish the race ahead of Kenyan Stacey Ndiwa and Sheila Chipkurui, who finished second and third in the podium. In the men's 10 kilometers race, Tanzania Gabriel Giai stole the all-Kenyan glory in the competition, finishing first of Kenyans Edwin Kugat and Alex Masai, who were second and third respectively. And finally, Spain's Carlos Alcaraz wins the Queen's Tennis Championships after beating Australian Alex de Minaur in the men's singles final match played at the Queen's Club in West London on June 25, 2023. Alcaraz was playing on the grass for just the third tournament of his career, and his win places him as the biggest threat to Novak Djokovic, who seeks to secure an 8th title at the All England Club next month. The Spaniard's 5th title of the season moves him back ahead of 23-time Grand Slam champion Djokovic at the top of their rankings. All right, that's a wrap for KUTV Primetime News this Monday. Many thanks indeed for keeping us company. Be sure to join me again tomorrow for a conversation on the state of the nation, hopefully. Now, my name is ODIDA. I'm in the company of SAMMY, OKELLO, who's in London. And see you tomorrow, inshallah.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station